Well, I decided this is now going to be a yearly thing. There is a bit of fun into reflecting on where you are comparatively to the previous year, and 2024 has certainly been an experience for me. But a bit of context first. I'm making it a tradition to talk about the year on this specific day because this was when I decided I wanted to change things up for my channel back in 2022 and use this very same day the next year to reflect on it. On last year's video, I talked about wanting to bump up the quality of my videos to the point I will have to skip uploading for a week or two, and for the most part it worked, but it came with a few caveats that threw me off. To make things short, I needed to let go of filler content entirely. Stuff like covering the Steam Next Fest or reviewing smaller obscure games just so I can have something to show for. That needs to stop. As much as I want to cover as many games as possible, I am only human. I'm a literal one-man show, so I can't really do everything. If I am going to improve my videos, I need to be stricter with myself. I need to be pickier. Because a nasty side effect of trying to do filler games or obscure stuff in hopes of having material in between videos I want to make, I am only making it harder to get to the videos I actually am interested in. As they say, the time I am spending making filler videos is time spent not making the videos I actually want. This is now the second year where I really wanted to talk about the Resident Evil games, but I haven't. I want to talk about Sniper Elite 4 this year. I was planning to play more boomer shooters. I made my video on Wolfenstein 2009 and wanted to do Blade of Agony and then move on to the Machine Games reboot. But guess what? I didn't get to do any of that because I thought it'd be nice to make other videos in between. It wouldn't be too much of a problem, except being unable to get these videos out in a timely manner ended up getting in the way a lot more than I would have liked. So in a funny variation, I got stuck in an even messier vicious cycle than I did in 2023. So how can I solve this for 2025? As I already said, I need to be pickier with the games I cover. Far too often I end up not downloading bigger games out of fear of running out of space and the size of the recordings. But if I am no longer restraining myself with the weekly uploads, then why worry about space or time to write and edit? I also need to be stricter with myself. I am still hoping to grow this channel to where I can monetize, but I won't be able to achieve it if I am not treating it with the seriousness it deserves. One way to mitigate this and get rid of bad habits is making a list. I tried having an Excel spreadsheet in hand and it didn't work as good a couple years back. I am finding that having a physical list at hand is a lot more effective, as it lets me have what I need to make it right in my sights, and also to keep better track of my projects. I've decided that one way to make up for lost time and also give closure to some of my unfinished video projects for this year is to put them on the list and work my way towards them. Once that is finished, I will start adding newer items and so on. This will also include doing better management on my hard drive. I have a really bad habit of installing more games than I'm actually playing, and it's always because of the dumb worry of what if I want to play it later. So committing to one game at a time will make it easier to capture footage and work on the video itself. Once those pending videos are done with, I am going to truly dedicate time to the bigger video essays. I have an entire playthrough of Homefront because I want to talk about that game, and I want to cover it. I need to cover it because I want to play and discuss the Revolution. I want 2025 to also be the year where I truly graduate into a video essayist by making a video on Spec Ops: The Line, because it really feels like covering that game is a rite of passage, plus it's really fun to talk about. I want to get rid of one of my worst traits, and it is having my plans change or die because of my ever-changing mood. So we will see if I can make 2025 the year where talking about games can be a bit better focused and made with the quality that it deserves. The other important aspect I also need to correct will be to the non-review content, and it's not for covering specific games but rather to cover specific topics. This year I talk about finally getting into racing games and rekindling the occasional fun I had with old Burnout games, and that was fun. Last year, I made a topic about how not every game has to start a conversation. Not only did I have fun talking on it and understanding that I don't have to make a video or a review of everything, it was also a very successful video. My initial thoughts back in 2022 was that making these non-game specific videos will be easy because all I had to do will be to just ramble on the microphone and slapping gameplay or whatever backlog game I am playing at the time. Yeah, that fell through pretty fast. Because as I said, making filler content is a detriment. The video won't turn out good if I am not feeling it, and I am not going to be able to make a viable script if what I have to say can be covered in less than 3 minutes and you'd have an easier time just reading it as an online post on social media. This year, for example, I spent nearly 200 hours across March and April playing Terraria. I ended up plating that game, making an insane badass world, and I wanted to talk about how much fun it was to just to commit to one game at a time, because I've seen comments and videos on how players often are scared of playing longer games, or a fear of missing out on playing other shorter games. But to make the video make even more sense, I was thinking of using the same structure as the Racing Games video and getting to how I finally got all the dog tags in Metal Gear Solid 2, and how I discovered the joy of the Snaketails mode. You can guess how that one ended up too. As time goes on, you learn that the window to make a video on a certain topic eventually closes, and both the inspiration and the opportunity to have something meaningful to say can get lost. Plus, as I said a few seconds ago, the entire code of that video just could get summarized in a few seconds, which is what I just did in a couple paragraphs. I tried to write that script so many times for 2 years, and it turns out it wasn't that deep. Not everything has to start a conversation. Better yet, not everything has to become content. That's the mentality that has allowed me to beat 40 to 45 games a year for the past 4 years, curing myself from cynicism and also allowing me the joyful selfishness of enjoying video games as a proper leisure time and not as this endless content mine so many other YouTubers fall into. So if I am going to make a non-game specific video, it's gonna have to be one that I feel strongly about, and also one that requires me to do my homework. I want to investigate, study, see where I stand on that topic, and if I can actually express myself on it, and elaborate for the needed time to keep any one of you who watches my videos informed and entertained. If there is one specific lesson I want to carry with me from 2024 into 2025, is that I've learned from watching the streams of one of my favorite YouTubers that I will make the videos I enjoy and maybe even bump up the quality by removing the pressure of a schedule. Making weekly videos for nearly the entirety of 2023 was a fantastic experience, but it was also a double-edged sword. Having the self-imposed pressure of having to make a video to show every week has the risk of reducing my videos into yet another content mill for YouTube to exploit. YouTube and other YouTubers have pushed for years the idea that constant uploads and appealing to the algorithm is the best way to achieve success, but 2023 proved to me that wasn't the case. Because even when I was diligently following my schedule, there wasn't the impact that was hyped so much. To the contrary, some of my videos underperformed and never recovered. Others are slowly but steadily building an audience, with success coming in places I never even expected. This of course doesn't mean I'm gonna go into bad habits or I'm gonna slow down making videos to a crawl. I want to maintain consistency, but this time around prioritizing quality over quantity. That way, when November 22nd, 2025 comes around, we will be back here to both reflect and see if the goals have been met.